Chers auditeurs,
Dear listeners,
bonjour.
welcome to Comme d'Archi Podcast Season 6.
Saison 6, dans le monde fascinant des architectes.
And in the architectural projects.
Je suis Anne-Charlotte Deponte, passionnée d'architecture et docteur des universités en histoire de l'archi.
I am one of the spokespersons of Anne-Charlotte, who is a PhD in architecture history.
Merci.
Thank you
D'être avec moi aujourd'hui.
to be with us today.
Et
And
maintenant,
now,
lundi en français, place au talent.
and Wednesday, let's talk projects. In English, of course.
Bienvenue dans Comme d'Archi.
Dear listeners, good morning. This is Esther on behalf of Anne-Charlotte. It's good to meet you again in Season 6 of Comme d'Archi to discuss the subject of Tomorrow's Neighborhoods, a consultation dedicated to architects, landscapers, and urban planners from all over the world. In Comme d'Archi, Jean-Baptiste Marie presented the key elements of the French government's Quartiers de demain tender for 10 architecture, urban planning, and landscape projects. We'd like to give you the gist of the information he was kind enough to share with us prior to the submission of bids by competitors. This first submission of bids takes place on December 16, 2024. There's still time to apply. In view of current events, could this be the last consultation open to project managers that will change things for a long time to come? Only time will tell. That's why we are encouraging all architects, urban planners, and landscape architects to apply. There's still time, even if the countdown is on. Whether you're a small, medium-sized, or large agency, French or foreign, come and take part in this impetus for investigation, designed to meet major challenges and whose repercussions can be seen in the realization of projects. But first, let's get to know Jean-Baptiste Marie, the man commissioned by the French government to lead this consultation. He holds a number of qualifications, including a diploma in architecture from the École nationale supérieure d'architecture de Versailles, a diploma in design from the École Boulle, a doctorate in planning and architecture from the Université de Paris-Saclay, and a teaching position. He is currently general manager of Europe des projets architecturaux et urbains, a public interest group. He is a strong believer in the culture of ecological transition, and in the past was initiated in this field by Philippe Madec, a leading architect in the Happy Frugality movement. The Quartiers de demain international architectural consultation was launched within the framework of the Europe des projets architecturaux et urbains public interest group headed by Jean-Baptiste Marie, to transform 10 of France's 1,362 priority neighborhoods. Full details of how to apply can be found on the website Quartiers de demain, QUARTIES-demain.archi.fr/en. The competition is open to professional teams from all over the world. The idea of the competition is to kickstart the process. After that, a manufacture des quartiers will take over. For the time being, the three fundamentals common to each of the initial consultation sites are an ecological approach, consultation with the local population, and cultural anchoring. Now, let's mention each of the projects in our initial consultation, Quartiers de demain, with their own singular fundamentals, as pointed out by Jean-Baptiste Marie. Marseille 13, Petit Séminaire District. This is a project for a green corridor in the heart of the neighborhood. It's located in the northern districts of Marseille, with the landscape at the heart of the concerns, which must be articulated with this impoverished residential area. Sedan 08, Quartier du Lac. This project to rehabilitate several housing towers in a depressed area should be designed to link up with Sedan's historic fortified castle. Lodève, 34, City Centre. This project aims to develop the riverbanks and restore a heritage complex in the heart of a small town, itself in the heart of the countryside. Le Mans, 72, Sablon District. Restructuring of a shopping center and development of the central square in the Sablon district. The project mainly concerns a small bar used for tertiary purposes, which is to be converted into housing. Colmar, 68, Europe Schweizer district. A major 5.5 hectare public space development project on a neglected green space. We are living in an era of zero-net artificialization and land sobriety, and this site is the paragon. Caen, 14, Grâce de Dieu district. The redevelopment of a housing block is probably the most emblematic project of the city's urban policy. A site of the 30 glorious years, the rehabilitation of the block backed by a public space, a boiler room adjacent to it. Manosque, 04, Eastern District. A project to renovate a sports ground by introducing new uses and restoring a watercourse. Here, the challenge is an approach based on biodiversity, ecosystems, and life in the city. Pessac, 33, Sage District. The project to rehabilitate a tower in a complex of 8 towers and its public spaces. A 20th century built heritage, such as an exemplary lesson. Corbeil-Essonnes, 91, Les Tarterets. The project to create a multi-purpose public facility, including the renovation of a heritage boiler house and its surroundings, represents the most high-profile site in the consultation. We are really dealing with built heritage, with a magnificent transformation into a cultural facility yet to be imagined. Coulommiers, 77, Templiers District. A project to group together school and early childhood facilities in the heart of the Templiers district. The city's political districts are also home to a diversity of programs, including school facilities. Jean-Baptiste Marie points out that, in a way, this is almost the antithesis of an image competition. On the other hand, what the authorities are most interested in through this consultation is the process, the way things are done. Jean-Baptiste Marie says, and I quote, "Today, architecture is also the fruit of metabolism, of the incoming and outgoing flows of the process, of citizen participation. All this challenges the traditional codes of project design." End of quote. Designers, please apply. Dear listeners, thank you for tuning in. Let's meet again next week for a new Comme d'Archi in English. And until then, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Thank you for listening. And thanks to the sound engineer who was collaborating with us today. Don't forget to tune in to our previews on Instagram at Comme d'Archi Podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, don't hesitate to promote it by giving it 5 stars and a little comment on Apple Podcast or on your favorite podcast platform. And above all, subscribe to listen to all of our episodes for free. See you soon, and until then, take care of yourself.